My friend betrayed me this morning and I blocked her on everything, finally stopped being angry and now I'm just devastated. Massive content warning for discussing eating disorders. I have anorexia and am in quasi-recovery. Doing my best with shitty health insurance. But I have a friend who I met in an eating disorder support group. We have talked every day for 3 years. We FaceTime and text. She was going to visit me this summer. We live in different states. We are incredibly close. She is probably the only person in the world who knows just how sick I got a few years ago. I isolated and WFH so no one saw how thin I was. I realistically should have been in the hospital. But she helped me, we supported each other, sent each other meals, and recipes. We encouraged each other to eat foods that scared us and often had pacts. Like, FaceTime me at 4 and I'll eat the pasta dish I've been craving if you eat a sandwich. I know it's not healthy to just have one person, but I am so isolated. Anyway, I would send her photo updates on my weight gain. Pictures showing me fitting again into pants that had previously become too big, things like that. Before and after images of my recovery/weight gain. Today I found out from a mutual friend, from the original group, that my friend has been using my images from when I was at my sickest and pretending they're her on Twitter. The account is pro-Anna and disgusting. She's using my pictures in reverse, like they're showing my weight loss instead of gain. She's getting a lot of interactions. My sick body being praised, it's making me feel crazy, I cannot stop crying. All day I've been writing a long message to her then deleting it. This morning I was enraged, I couldn't catch my breath. I don't think I've ever been angrier. But now I'm defeated. I asked the friend who told me to tell her I know about the account and to please delete it. She did. The account is down, not like that changes anything. I know pictures of my body are saved in so many thinspo folders now. My friend was blowing up my phone, messaging me everywhere and begging me to call her. I stopped reading her messages and blocked her, everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I don't want to hear anything she has to say, and honestly the anger is gone. I don't want to yell at her, I don't want her punished, I just never want to think of her again. I feel betrayed in the worst way possible, and I just want to lick my wounds alone in my house. Story 2. Sister scammed our family into believing she had cancer. Hi all. I am at a loss for words, and can't even cope with what is going on in my life. Early last year, my 25F sister, 28F, gathered our family together, my 2 other sisters and parents, and sobbed that she was recently diagnosed with a genetic form of pancreatic cancer. It was the worst day of my life. It threw me into a deep depression, which has now gotten worse, and it led me to getting all sorts of medical testing done to see if I'd be more prone to this type of cancer she had. Throughout the entirety of 2024, she went through great lengths to give us details about her cancer journey. The effectiveness of chemo on her pancreatic tumor, the different types of chemo she was doing, going so far as to saying she got into one of the most prestigious hospitals in the US that treats pancreatic cancer, and then giving us constant updates about what her doctor was saying about her disease progression. She even had us believe that her doctor put her on a trial drug that prevented pancreatic cancer recurrence. She went through so much fucking research, I have no clue how she did it. But we all believed her. We trusted her and never questioned if she actually had cancer because, who would do that to their loved one? She never lost her hair, but she claimed it was because she was doing cold capping. So, of course, we believed her. She never showed us any record of her PET scans, her biopsy results, etc. Everything was through word of mouth, but we trusted her and didn't think twice about it. Well, these past 2 months, she had been declining mentally. She was doing extremely bad, and we thought it was because she was afraid of her cancer spreading to other organs or that she was going to die. Earlier this month, she picked up and ran away to a neighboring state. At this point, we got extremely suspicious and worried and demanded to know what was going on with her. Come to find out this morning, she admitted to completely faking it all. For what reasons, I am entirely unsure. She must have extreme mental problems that we don't know about, and we are trying to get her help. My biggest problem is that I am so incredibly angry, and my mom and dad are trying to sweep this all under the rug. They are telling me not to reach out to my sister and confront her because she's now suicidal, and they are completely turning a blind eye to all the irreparable pain she has caused over the past year. They are, in fact, having her come back to our city and move in with them. They are telling me to have some empathy because she clearly has some mental issues. But how can they hold it against me for being extremely upset and now cutting her out of my life? It's absolutely ludicrous. I will no longer be speaking to her, and if my parents are just going to coddle her without holding her even slightly accountable, they will be cut out of my life too. Am I missing something here? This just all is so terrible because I have screenshots upon screenshots of her text updates, which include meticulous detail from her about what is going on with her cancer, discussions about surgery, chemo, and how she is so scared for her life. I just can't believe it. Edit for spelling. Story 3. I, 32F, noticed an unusual text suggestion on my husband's 34M phone. My husband, 34M, and I, 32F, have been married for 4 years, together for 6. We play the NYT Wordle from time to time and share our results with each other when we solve them via text. Tonight he completed the puzzle, and when he clicked share, the options popped up to text with your most frequent or recent contacts up first, iPhone. I was the first one as usual, and I'm usually followed by my stepdaughter, family, or his friends. But tonight an icon I had not seen before was between mine and my stepdaughter's. It was a pink circle with a memoji of a woman with a brown ponytail making a kissing/winking face. I was sitting at my desk next to him so I couldn't see the name and he closed it pretty quickly, but I am sure that is a new contact. He then opened his texts and went straight to mine acting like he was confirming that it sent. But it was suspicious, like he opened the text app just to make sure I saw that pink bubble wasn't on the first page of his texts or something. It wasn't, but that's even more strange, right? His phone is suggesting it as a share option after only me, but I didn't see it in the first 8 or 9 texts in his phone. I don't go through my husband's phone, but I have always told him he's weird about letting me use it, and he tends to turn it around on me like I'm just overreacting to a reasonable expectation of privacy on his end, but again, it's not like I've ever told him to let me read his texts or anything like that. I leave my phone at home or in the car very often when we are out, so if he's driving, I'll grab his phone to get directions pulled up in maps or search for a restaurant, and it's always such a weird ordeal. He takes his phone out of my hand, unlock it with Face ID, and goes to the map app himself before handing it back to me while he is driving. Sometimes he acts like he can't get to his phone in his pocket or says, "Oh, never mind. We don't need directions, I can find it," when he realizes I don't have my phone. Maybe I'm just different? I let him use my phone, especially if I'm driving. I'll ask him text someone an ETA, get directions for us, take a picture, etc. My phone isn't with me most of the time, I just leave it sitting around in the house and often leave home without it. He always has his with him, which is great for someone who is constantly forgetting theirs, but he is reluctant to let me use it even briefly. Maybe I shouldn't judge him for simply not being like me? I am still a bit shocked and can't sleep, and the more I type this whole thing out, the more it feels like I'm being gaslit. The last few months have been so hard already. I'm dreading the thought of bringing this up to him. I do not think it will be well received if I do. Any advice on how I may approach this gently would be helpful. TLDR, I think my husband is weirdly private with his phone. I caught sight of an unfamiliar text suggestion, female memoji, when he was next to me sending me a game result. I am unsure how to bring this up to him. We have had a really hard past few months. Story 4. My 20F boyfriend, 27M, is ignoring me to play a game and is taking a toll on my mental health. I feel abandoned and completely emotionally numb. This may sound a little extreme, but I suffer from rejection-sensitive dysphoria, and this has really taken a toll on me. My boyfriend downloaded a new game on his phone. He even had me download it too so I could also play it. But ever since he downloaded it, that's the only thing that has been occupying his time. He's hardly spoken to me in about 5 days, and is barely even acknowledging that I'm there. We went to his best friend's house yesterday, and he couldn't even stop playing to hang out with friends and family. He was even going so far as to interrupt our conversations just to talk about his progress in his game. It's all he talks about anymore, and he constantly narrates it and his progress. I even tried asking him to turn it off yesterday while we were at his friend's, and he just bluntly stated, no, and when I said, please, he said, asking the same question but a little nicer the second time isn't going to change the answer. At that point, I kind of lost it. I was stressed out of my mind yesterday. I had to babysit a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and completely overwhelmed to the point I was crying, and all he could do was play his game. I feel as though I've entered some sort of dissociative state, and I feel completely emotionless and almost like I don't have a soul. Think Soulless Sam for those who have seen Supernatural. I don't feel hot or cold, I don't feel hungry, I don't feel anything. I'm scared to talk to my boyfriend about this. He gets mad at me when I ask him to turn his game off. He won't even stop playing it to make himself food. And whenever the game pisses him off, he takes it out on me and everyone around us. I don't know what to do at this point. I feel like I've lost my boyfriend to a stupid game. What can I do to get him to talk to me again without getting mad? P.S. Ideally, I want to ask him to delete the game, as he just made me delete a game from my phone because it made him mad when he was playing it before, and even seeing the game on my phone made him mad.